What's going on YouTube? Braden Sanchez here with Inspiro Fitness. I wanted to knock this commentary out. Just getting home from work and about to watch some playoff basketball representing my Oklahoma City Thunder. Thunder up. But anyway, before we get things started, I wanted to give a little shout out to my good friend Alex, who's my workout partner, this is his first day recording some of our stuff. Did a fantastic job. Way to go, bud. But in this video, we will be kind of analyzing one of my arm workouts that me and Alex did today. But before we go into going through what exercises we did, I want to talk a little about how I go about planning my routines. The first thing I do when I'm planning a new split or anything like that, I just take a hard look at myself and say, okay, what would I like to work on? What are my weak points? How can I make them? How can I bring them up? How can I make them my strong points? For example, I would like a better peak on my bicep. That is due a little bit to genetics, but there's a lot of the outer head too. So what I want to do, I'm a firm believer in the priority principle, training your weak points at the beginning of your workout, so you just get you have the most energy, the most focus, you're not drained and tired from other stuff. So, for example, I do my outer head bicep work first. So you just take into account what you want to work on, how you should go about that, and then put that into planning your routines. I'm a big advocate of research, looking up examples of different routines, because I mean, to be said, there's no perfect routine. Something's not going to fit everyone. So what you need to do is I scour the internet. If I find a physique that I like, I'd want to know what his workout's like and then taper that to my needs. Doing the same workout as one guy will not give you his exact body shape. So that's one thing to take into account. And so without further ado, we'll get on into the workout footage. Alright guys, first we're going to start out with some tricep dips. I prefer to do them weighted, especially if I'm trying to hit that 10 to 12 hypertrophy range. Typically I will go lower than parallel, just I feel like I get a little better stretch that way. I mean, it's up to you, personal preference really for me on that one. Start usually almost all my workouts with a compound movement and then move on to a more specific isolation, which we'll see here right after I step down from this. But anyway, now we move on to some single arm cable extensions. This is all about the form, the contraction, slow and controlled. You want to keep your shoulder out of the movement as much as possible. Pretty much the weight isn't as big as a factor, so just check your ego with that one. Move enough weight where it's a challenge, but you're not overdoing it and have to dip down into it. I'll just switch sides here so you see from each of you. Basically, if you use your shoulder to get the weight started, your triceps really only work in that last half or third of the motion. So you're kind of cheating yourself on that one a little bit. It's just, you can use a rope extension, straight bar. I like to mix it up between those three, but just to keep it new and fresh each workout, you're basically doing the same kind of motion. Now we're moving into probably what's become my favorite tricep exercise, a seated incline skullcrusher. Kind of in between a traditional skull crusher where the bench is completely flat and then a French press, which the bench is at 90 degrees and you're going completely behind your head. I just feel it's a best of both worlds thing there. You can see I'm going a little bit behind my forehead, not directly on it. I just feel like I get a better stretch on the tricep. I'm just leaning it back the few extra inches. I'm not locking out fully on this. You hear a lot of people complain about some elbow tendonitis. I do extend my arms fully, but then I will come back down. It's not a very harsh flex at the top. Just concentrating on the stretch on the bottom, going slow, watching my elbows so they don't flare out, trying to control that as much as I can. That's basically the gist of the tricep exercise. We'll go into bicep as soon as I finish up on this one. Start out basically how we ended, just for ease of a workout with some easy bar curls. Like I said before in the beginning, I like to work the outer head first, so the closer your grip on the type of bar you're using, the more outer head you will work, and vice versa. The wider grip, the more inner head. So I like these easy bar curls because less intensive wrist. I do switch in barbell occasionally, but just trying to keep my elbow very static, keeping the work on the bicep going very slow and controlled, all the way down, pausing, all the way up, getting a nice squeeze. You'll probably hear me say slow and controlled in almost every video I make. Now we're moving on to some seated incline dumbbell. Basically, same rules apply. Elbow static, not trying to rock, using my bicep to move the weight. My grip is fairly loose on this, just resting it enough on my palm where I'm trying to put more focus on the bicep rather than my forearm or grip. I really like this exercise just for the stretch of the bottom you'll get. But overall, just getting that full extension is the key here. You'll see all I'm thinking about right now is keeping my elbow still. Another one of those ego checking weights. You don't have to go as heavy as you normally would on like a standing dumbbell curl. Just lighten it up a little bit. You'd be surprised what a form overweight can do. The weight will come with time, but bad form is forever. Not saying I have a perfect one. I mean, I can always get better. Finishing up here with just some simple hammer curls. I'll either do them out in front of my chest like this, or just straight out in front of me. I'll just switch it up from time to time, whatever I'm feeling like that day. Just a nice little blood finisher in this one. I just feel like you get a nice pump from doing each one at a time for about, I'd say like 2 or 3 sets, really up to you. I just showed a 1 or 2 sets of each exercise just for the sake of time, and so I can talk about them a little bit. As always, if you like the gym gear I'm wearing, I'll link Machine Fitness down in the description. Unfortunately, I don't think the yellow stringers are in stock anymore. They rebranded themselves to a different logo, like on the sweatpants, but they've still got quite a few things to offer. I am competing in the ANBF FitCon show in Waxahachie, Texas, here in I think 5 days. So I did want to give you guys a little physique update after we finish up this set. Just run through a couple poses, nothing too extensive. Basically, I'm happy with the conditioning. Could I be leaner? Well, of course. This is still my first round of shows that I've ever done. I competed in the OSU Classic and got second in my class on that one. And then I competed in the NANBF Natural State Southern Classic here a couple weeks ago and got third in my collegiate class. So thanks for taking the time out to watch my video, guys. I really appreciate it. As always, please comment anything you'd like to see in the next episode, stuff I could work on, stuff I could fix in future episodes, and I'll leave you with my favorite pose on this one, low crab most muscular. So I hope you all have a good day, and thanks for checking in.